All right, guys, so I got my first piece of the puzzle came in this morning. Today is Saturday, which is a 36-volt battery indicator. Shows you how much battery life you have. I already cut out a little notch. This is where it's going to live, basically right below the head unit when that thing shows up. So that is it right there. This is a 36-volt specific indicator. They make, pull this out. Okay, so I got this one off eBay. This is the part number. This is 36 volt specific. They also make one for 48 volts. So if you're trying to either replace yours, make sure you get the right one, either 36 or 48. They also make these battery indicators that are fully programmable and custom, meaning that they'll read from 0 to 100 DC. And then whatever the output is, either 1 volt, 12 volts, 36, 48, whatever, 24, you just basically set it. You tell it that that is full, and then from there it'll read down as the battery drains or your output drains. And then you can also set alarms or whatnot, but this is just your regular, most common one has little bar indicators going from green, yellow to red to show you how much battery you have left. Now on the back side you have a negative post, positive post, and the C is basically your accessory or ignition to turn this on only when the ignition is on, or you could possibly put a switch. I'm going to wire my indicator to the ignition itself. Now if you just go with negative, positive, and then run another positive here from 12 volts, it's going to turn this on, but it's always going to stay on, like I said. So it's either going to be like a battery cutoff where it's going to kill power to the indicator, or some other switch source. So let me put this back in like that. And then, so let me explain what I'm going to do. So this has been converted over to 3 12-volt deep cycle 31 group batteries, as I said before in my video. So the way the series, or I should say, when you wire batteries in series, you basically have battery 1, which will take all of your positives. And then remember something, regardless how they're wired, each battery is still 12 volts. So if you're running accessory 12-volt power, you can still use a positive and a negative post. But in series, to achieve 36 volts from 3 batteries or 4, what you're going to do is, being that this is battery number 1, you're going to jump from negative to positive. This is your battery 2 now in this group, and then you're going to go once again negative to positive on battery 3, and this becomes your last battery. This is where you connect all your negatives for the 36 volt setup. Okay, so basically from your charger side, from your regular side, this is how you achieve 36 volts. Last battery in series will be 36 volt negative, and then the first battery in series will be 36 volt positive, or 48 volts if you had 4 batteries. So what I'm going to do is, to actually make that switch work, you're going to have to run positive from this battery, and then negative from this battery over to the indicator. That will output 36, or actually 38 volts when they're fully charged. And then the accessory is going to go to this yellow wire. I believe it's this yellow wire, but I'll use a test light or a voltmeter. This is going to be your 12 volt accessory, or the on switch. So anytime I turn the ignition on, it's going to turn that little indicator on, and then when I shut it off, it'll kill the indicator as well, so it doesn't stay on. But yeah, in a nutshell, basically you always pick battery 1, positives go here, then from negative to positive, battery 2, from negative to positive, battery 3. If you had a fourth one, it would be again negative to positive, and then the last fourth battery would be your 48 volt battery. Now a lot of people ask, how am I going to add a couple more batteries here? Well, you can actually add 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 batteries in parallel, meaning that instead of going from negative to positive, now you're going to go from negative to negative, from positive to positive, depending on how many batteries you get. And same thing, first battery is going to be your number 1, number 2, number 3, or however many batteries you got. And then what you're going to do is, from the last battery, you're going to go and jump it to a negative side here on 36 volts. And then also from the first battery, you're going to jump to the positive. And what that's going to do, it's not going to increase your 36 volt output. All that's going to do is just give you more capacity. and basically longer range and more battery overall. That's what I plan on doing come spring or summer. I'm going to have a dedicated battery basically in parallel with another battery powering the head unit and the lights. And then it's also going to help out the overall range of this battery. But anyway, stay tuned. In the next video, I'm going to show you guys how it all works and how it's all wired. Talk to you guys later. And of course, another thing is if you already have a battery indicator gauge in your golf cart, then you don't need to run wires. It's already wired if it's reading properly or was reading properly. So if it goes bad, you just remove it. Obviously buy the correct one, either 36 or 48, or like I said, you can get a fully custom programmable one and then just pop it out, reconnect the wires, and you're good to go. But that's where this meter is going to live, right there, right basically by the cup holders. The head unit that I got is going to go in here. I'm going to cut this out. This is set up for like an old school knob style head unit. And then the two speakers are going to be right there where the old ones are. But like I said, I'll do another video when that stuff shows up. So we got the first thing is obviously the meter that I'm going to install, and then other videos I'll show you guys the LED front light conversion, adding a LED rear light. And also I bought a mirror that's going to go here, a rear view mirror as well. So, but anyway, stay tuned. All right, what's going on, everybody? So I got the battery indicator wired in. It's getting dark, so it's kind of hard to see. But anyway, as I showed earlier, you got 3 legs. Basically, the kit does come with 2 screws and also 3 female spade connectors to connect to the meter itself. So as I said, negative side runs over here to the 36 volt. Okay, that's this wire here. Positive side on the meter runs to the first battery, as I explained. So between this battery and this battery, we got 36 volts. So negative goes here, positive goes here. C, I had to figure out since, this is a new to me golf cart. But regardless, C is a source, either accessory source that comes on when you flip a switch. And I might still do that. I might add a couple of switches, one for the meter and then one for the little stereo system that I'm going to put in. But what I found out is on this ignition switch, which is right here, is just a normally open, normally closed circuit. So it creates a circuit. There's no power going to it. And if there was power going to it, then it would be sending power back to the solenoid. So that's not the case. So I was able to find 12 volts on this junction box here. And basically now what I do is I'll turn the key on. It's on right now. And then anytime I put the golf cart in forward, you can see the meter comes on. It's showing that the batteries are full. And then when I put in reverse, nothing happens. But when you actually apply power in reverse, the battery meter does come on. So forward, full battery charge. And then when I put in neutral, disengage the gears, it goes off. I might leave it like that. That's not a big deal. Or I might just add a couple of switches, and then what I'll do is I'll actually run a wire from the positive side of the 12 volt this time over to the switch, and then connect the other leg of the switch, or I should say of the meter to the other leg of the switch. And basically what that's going to do is now it's going to stop the current or the power running to the meter unless the power button is on. But regardless, I'm going to give this a go. I have to clean all the wiring up. I'm also going to take it for a little spin once I put the baby away. But yeah, it's pretty easy. Like I said, just make sure you get a right 36 volt battery meter or a range meter. Technically, it's a capacity meter. And yeah, it works pretty good. So on, off, and then I think that will be just fine. And actually, I'm not going to use the screws because I cut the hole pretty tight, so you don't really need the screws in there. It'll never come out. Okay, on to the next one.